Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, government is set to introduce parole legislation in Parliament. Justice Minister Devesh Maharaj confirmed this while speaking with reporters at the formal opening of Trinidad and Tobago IVF and Fertility Center in Aranguez on Wednesday. Now, when it pertains to certain types of crime, maybe after a 20-year period in prison, you could probably grant somebody parole. When you see it pertains to murder, because in my opinion, robbery and stuff like that should be 20 years plus. So that's why I said 20 years. But when it pertains to like murder and stuff like that, I don't believe in giving anybody parole unless it was really a case where it was really certain types of circumstances showing there wasn't really any intent to commit the crime. Basic crime of passion and stuff like that, I don't want any excuse. You murdered your loved one, you should face life in prison, or of course, the higher punishment.
We are bringing certain amendments to the Constitution for the right of reasonable trial, a quick trial, right of the accused, trial within a reasonable time. There's the Parole Bill, which we bring into Parliament shortly to introduce parole to the criminal justice system. We're introducing amendments to the Probation Act, and quite importantly, we'll be introducing the Victims' Rights Bill to provide rights and so on for victims of crime. So it's a whole suite of legislation that we are bringing, and functionally on the ground we're dealing with all the issues that have prevented justice from being delayed justice, make it accessible and quicker.
The bill for parole, is that a first for Trinidad and Tobago?
It will be a first for Trinidad and Tobago, and soon it will be laid in the Parliament.
Minister in the Ministry of Housing, Philip Alexander, highlighted the harsh realities facing residents in East Port of Spain during a tour of the area on Wednesday. You know, Port of Spain, one of the most faithful, I believe the most faithful wife of the PNM, no matter how much they are neglected by their precious Balize party. During the walkabout of Housing Development Corporation's apartments on Nelson and George Streets with community activist Lennox Smith, Minister Alexander said families have endured unacceptable living conditions for many years. As he spoke to residents in the community, he also challenged opposition representatives, which include MPs from the People's National Movement and former housing minister, to see the situation firsthand. You think about this, Port of Spain patriots, I'm telling you, faithful wife of the PNM. You can neglect them how much you want, they're still going to vote for PNM.
And all you have a mile to talk. All you want to use black people to get back into office. Come and walk here. Come and walk in this community and explain to the people who living in these houses. I just watched a property burn down, how long? 6 years?
Yeah, 10 years. It's more than...
There's a lady who apartment burned, she living in a lane. And all they want to go and do video and talk about this government. We on the ground in your constituencies.
One apartment building on the compound was partially destroyed by fire and remains a major safety concern. Minister Alexander says broader work is also underway behind the scenes to regularize home ownership and accelerate long-promised repairs.
I am going to make a report when I get back to office, and I'm going to try and get the engineers here to tell me if this building could be salvaged or if it has to be demolished and rebuilt. There are a lot of things are happening behind the scenes. Yes. With the government and these HEC houses. We want to make sure everybody ends up with proper title to their homes, and that we maintain and fix everything so that when we hand over, everybody is in good condition, right? So Mr. Smith is going to be mobilizing the community for that, to give information. If you was paying attention, Sunday we went down Point 14 to do the same thing in Lakeview. We're taking care of everybody, all right? So the plan is here now to get the maintenance team on this site, and I promise you that will be in, if not today, tomorrow. They will come and they'll identify the problem and we will address this.
Project update. Western Main Road 7.5 kilometer Carenage. Work is moving full steam ahead on this culvert reconstruction project. Things that once again neglected by the PNM for 10 years. The team has completed the concrete base with steel reinforcement fully installed and is now well advanced with formwork, shaping the culvert walls for the next concrete pour. The government knows that residents are watching this project closely, of course, because UNC in office. PNM was in office, they would not even be saying anything about it. But nevertheless, so the government knows that residents are watching this project closely, so they're continuing to post updates every step of the way. And of course, when they post the updates, I will highlight it in my news reports. West Indies women's captain Hayley Matthews says her side is ready to embrace the home advantage as they prepare to face the world's #1 ranked T20 team, Australia, number one ranked cricket team, Australia, whether it's in the men's category or the women's category. Your advantage over Australia, it can be anywhere. It can be in your own house. You still don't have advantage over the Australians. I still wish the West Indies women all the best. And if they end up defeating the great Australian team, I will rejoice.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see a lot of people come out. We know the Vinci fans are always very passionate about their game and the West Indies team performing well.
On the challenge of facing Australia, Matthews was measured but confident, acknowledging the scale of the task while pointing to her team's match winners.
Teams have had success against them, and I think the good thing about T20 cricket is that it only takes 1 or 2 match winners to really go out there and change a game. So it's going to be really important for us that our big players do step up.
The skipper also highlighted 2 names to watch, debutant Ebony Brathwaite and the emerging Janelia Glasgow, saying both showed bright sparks in the recent Sri Lanka series. With the ICC Women's T20 World Cup just months away, Matthews made clear this series carries added weight.
Yeah, very important. I think it's going to be a good test of where we are as a team right now, just a couple months before the World Cup does start. Hopefully we can see some bright sparks and be able to take a lot of positives out of this series for sure.
And on how she plans to lead through the pressure, Matthews kept it simple.
As a West Indies group and as a team, we probably play the best when we're out there having fun on the field. So it's certainly the kind of brand we're going to want to play going forward.
First ball is at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time from the Arnasvale Stadium in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
For Thursday, March 19, 2026, the weather in Trinidad and Tobago is expected to be generally sunny, slightly hazy, and breezy with the possibility of brisk, isolated showers. General conditions: most areas will see sunny but hazy skies. Winds will be breezy to windy, with gusts possible, especially near any showers. Saharan dust: a mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust is present in the atmosphere. Sensitive individuals are advised to take necessary precautions. Temperatures: Piarco, expected high of 31 degrees Celsius and low of 23 degrees Celsius. Crown Point, expected high of 30 degrees Celsius and low of 24 degrees Celsius. Marine conditions and alerts. Hazardous seas: a yellow level hazardous seas alert is in effect until 12 p.m. on Thursday. Sea state: seas are expected to be rough, with wave heights reaching up to 3.0 meters in open waters and up to 2.0 meters in sheltered areas. Safety: beachgoers and marine operators should exercise extreme caution due to the risk of strong rip currents and agitated sea surfaces.
Regional news now. Attorney General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Louise Mitchell, has committed to working with all stakeholders to advance the country's nomination. She noted that successful inscription would provide a significant boost to the nation's tourism industry. Remember, those small islands depend on tourism to generate revenue. Much needed forex from the colonials. Over the next 3 years, stakeholders will discuss St. Vincent and the Grenadines' level of preparedness, as well as deepen their understanding of the shared heritage with Grenada. The The discussions form part of ongoing collaboration between two countries to secure the inscription of the Grenadines island chain as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And once that, you get that label, people, all over the world, a lot more individuals will become interested in visiting those islands. Not to mention, of course, it will be highlighted in various magazines and so forth. I wish them the best. I hope it does take place, because in spite of the tribal Caribbean people not wanting and have anything much to do, but the colonials, you need the colonials' money in order to be able to generate revenue, my dear people.
When we are able to list the Grenadines Island Group, it will have a transformative effect on our tourism. The Danish student, the Nigerian fashion designer, the Chicago architect, who never had dreamt of traveling to this part of the world, will then put it on their travel bucket list. What joins us together? Why join the Grenada Grenadines and the St. Vincent Grenadines together as a transboundary nomination? Not only do these islands have shared seafaring, shipbuilding, and sailing as honored traditions, but the sea-driven separation from the outside world would have led to the common traits of independence and resilience among Grenadine Islanders.
Guyana's President Dr. Irfan Ali yesterday met with Toshawas from the Deep South Rupununi at State House to discuss the district's developmental agenda. The head of state underscored the district's potential in forest and biodiversity conservation, among other areas, and highlighted the role it plays in both the local and national economy. Discussions also centered on sustainable agricultural ventures such as large-scale cattle production, livestock farming, and crop cultivation, agro-processing, mining, the replanting initiatives, and tourism development opportunities. All that is going to provide employment and also definitely generate much-needed revenue, especially when you export. President Ali and the Toshawas further addressed issues affecting residents and explored ways of resolving them. With Jamaica set to host the Pan American Men's Lacrosse Championship for the first time ever, Jamaica Lacrosse Association President Calbert Hutchinson said they are ready to welcome the region's top teams. The Pan American Lacrosse Association selected Jamaica as host for the regional championships in January earlier this year, with the games to be played at the Miko University and Stadium East. This is definitely going to generate much needed revenue as Jamaica continues on their path to recovery after Hurricane Melissa. Chief Executive Officer at the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Ryan Ford, has hailed the island's resilient economic performance and outlined a bold roadmap to diversify Barbados' tourism product beyond traditional sun, sea, and sand. Barbados, of course, is yet another island. It depends a whole lot on tourism in order to generate revenue. I mean, we should be doing that in Trinidad and Tobago as well. You can't just be dependent on the oil industry, but the energy industry here is definitely our backbone of the economy, which can be used to diversify, invest a whole lot more in agriculture and definitely tourism. The Bahamas Union of Teachers, led by President Belinda Wilson, adamantly rejected a counter-proposal on an industrial agreement made by the Department of Labor. Following a meeting held early in February, union members voted overwhelmingly, 95.4%, to reject the proposal. The union maintains that the maximum salary scales must be increased significantly more than what the government currently proposed. Like how PNM proposed 4%. This development follows earlier tensions regarding overdue salary increments for public servants. Earlier in 2025, the union also raised concerns about the feasibility of recruiting foreign teachers from North America due to the large salary gap between those regions and the Bahamas, especially. Exactly. I mean, dollar for dollar, most likely when they convert the salaries that the individuals will have to receive in Bahamas Would it end up being the same as in Bahamas, which will be much lower than what they're receiving in America? Or what are you going to do? Make an exception and give them a much higher salary than the rest of locals in the Bahamas? That ain't going to be making sense either.
We were very disgusted as the government brought the same financial counter-proposal which they sent to us on January the 30th, 2026. Yes, the same financial counter-proposal that you, the members, resoundingly rejected in our general membership meeting held on February the 3rd, 2026, and subsequently in the results of the survey. We have given the government negotiators until 5 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, March the 18th, 2026, to present a revised counter proposal.
International news now. Senate Republicans blocked yet another bid by Senate Democrats to handcuff President Donald Trump's war authority in Iran in what could be an avalanche of similar moves to break through the GOP's floor takeover. Let's hope that the Democrats don't succeed. Senator Cory Booker, Democrat, triggered one of several war powers resolutions. Senate Democrats have tucked away in their bid to compel Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to testify publicly about Trump's war in Iran. My response: looks like the GOP is finally being cleansed of rhinos because they appear to be doing their job. And what I mean by that? Blocking the Democrats from accomplishing their sinister agenda. How many more need to be replaced with genuine conservative Republicans? That's the question. The midterms in November, time to clean out house, people. Make sure that new candidates won't be QAnon extremists either, because you will end up with like people like Marjorie Taylor Greene as well, who don't like Israel at all. UN officials have admitted the United Nations is on the brink of complete financial collapse because member states are refusing to pay their dues. We face a real danger of running out of money, the officials said. Didn't Trump say about that? I could be wrong. I do believe that Trump has been speaking about that for a very long time. That the respective nations in the United Nations, the respective nations in the United Nations haven't been pulling their weight. And that's why Trump has been saying for the longest while, I'm out of this, you know what? I'm going to stop spoiling these countries and always baby feeding them, mouth feeding them, giving them everything that they want. So at the end of the day, let's see what takes place there. And they don't need Trump and they don't need America's help. I'm telling you, I wonder at times why it is there's even still a head office in New York City. Is the Democrats really keeping that there? Is it possible that the federal government could tell the United Nations to get out of New York?
The Secretary General has, as you know, repeatedly made clear the problem both of non-payment of dues by member states and the related problem of the UN being forced to repay member states for budget expenses that it does not budget money that it does not spend, so those two factors have put us on an unsustainable trajectory. Although more than 150 member states paid their dues last year, we ended 2025 with a record $1.56 billion in outstanding dues, which is more than double that of the previous year. So unless either the payments come in or we're not compelled to spend, to return the monies that we are not able to spend because we didn't receive the budget, unless one of those two things happen, we face a real danger of running out.
The U.S. State Department on Wednesday expanded its list of countries whose citizens will be required to post bonds of up to $15,000 to apply for U.S. business or tourist visas. That's a whole lot of money, people. And that's U.S. dollars they're talking about there. The department added 12 nations to the growing list: Cambodia, Ethiopia, Georgia, Grenada, Lesotho, Mauritius, Mongolia, Mozambique, Nicaragua, Papua New Guinea, Seychelles, and Tunisia. Starting April 2nd, passport holders from these countries must pay a bond of $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000, which is refunded if the visa application is denied, or if granted, the traveler complies with the terms of the B1 or B2 visa. So it's just holding it there as security. So that, it sounds a bit unfair, but remember, because of the kind of individuals that are entering into the U.S. at this point in time, and then promoting very anti-American types of agendas, you have to be careful. Thankfully, I don't think that Trinidad is on that list yet, and hopefully it never will, especially because we are under Kamala Persad-Bissessa's leadership at this point in time. Qatar expels Iranian diplomats following recent attacks. Following the Iranian attack last night on the oil facilities in Ras Laffan, Qatar is expelling the military attaché and the security attaché at the Iranian embassy in Qatar. They have been declared persona non grata and given a 24-hour ultimatum to leave Qatari territory. The Qatari Foreign Ministry announced that it will take further measures if the Iranian aggression continues. Now remember, if it was Israel that attacked them by now, they would have already been involved in the war. But it's their precious Iran, so they're trying to hold strain. Let's see how much longer they will continue to do so. But I would like my dear local and regional jihadist supporters to tell me, why is Qatar doing this? If the Ayatollah regime is so justified in their acts to attack sovereign nations, Qatar, which actually supports them, that's their ally, why, how it is you could continue to be supporting the Ayatollah even when they are making these horrific, wrong, evil decisions? While the United Kingdom sits on the sidelines citing fleet shortages and European priorities, just lame excuses, Argentina has answered President Donald Trump's call for allied support in the Strait of Hormuz. It's all about principle, people. You're benefiting from that passageway, you should assist in securing it. On March 16, 2026, the Argentine Navy deployed 2 frigates to escort oil tankers through the critical checkpoint amid escalating Iranian threats and the effective closure of the strait due to the ongoing conflict. This marks Argentina as the only nation thus far to commit naval assets in direct response to the U.S. request for international escorts to keep global energy flowing. And if it remains with just Argentina and America doing so, what they should do is take ownership of that passageway and say, you know what? If the rest of Europe wants to continue using it, pay us a fee. Because fair is fair. You want to benefit it, but you don't want to contribute. I tell you, we live in a world where evil is good and good is evil. And it's just, I don't know, boy. It's just unfair, very unfair world. And the tribals in the Caribbean will say, no, Jed, they don't have to do that because they don't want to get involved in no war, Jed. All right, keep chanting those excuses. Now for the interesting facts segment, a couple in their 90s. 90s people, what a blessed age to be still alive. Proved it's never too late to chase a dream. Derek and Audrey Evans, married for over 70 years, celebrated their anniversary by buying their first luxury car, a Porsche Macan. After decades of driving practical vehicles, they chose to finally enjoy something special together. It shows also that they have plans to live for quite a while again. I love it. Their heartwarming stories shared by Porsche has inspired many, showing that age is just a number, of course, when it comes to fulfilling lifelong wishes and creating new memories.
Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News Travel Adventures. Hanoi, the 1,000-year-old capital of Vietnam, is a captivating blend of ancient charm and modern chaos, known for its rich history, French colonial architecture, and renowned street food culture. Situated along the Red River, this vibrant city offers bustling markets, serene lakes like Hon Kim, and a unique, energetic atmosphere. Key highlights and experiences. The Old Quarter, the heart of Hanoi, characterized by narrow, busy streets specialized in different goods, packed with cafes, and perfect for exploring on foot. Street food culture, experience authentic dining by sitting on tiny plastic stools to enjoy pho, banh mi, and egg coffee. Historical landmarks, visit the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, the Temple of Literature, Hoa Lo Prison, and ancient pagodas such as Tran Qua.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all. In Jesus' name,